U.S.-born children, ignoring their attorneys? Take a deep breath. You've been here 20, 30 years. A lot of the times back home, when I ask the ICE agents, give them 30 days, you know what? Without fail, that person comes back or self-deports. We can do better. 2-year-old American daughter, also deported to Honduras. They were also denied access to their lawyers. According to her lawyer, ICE prevented the mother from speaking to the lawyer or anyone else in the family. 2-year-old American citizen. Can't we slow it down and just take a moment before they're deported in 24 hours? The mom didn't want the daughter to stay in the United States. They may have had relatives in the United States, family. Even the own Trump-appointed federal judge overseeing this case has said that he had a strong suspicion that the government just deported a U.S. citizen with no meaningful due process. Madam Secretary, that your administration, I believe, has consistently violated the law by denying due process to U.S.-born American children. Under your watch, you've deported American children, U.S.-born children. Some of the examples, I only have 5 minutes to talk about, but I'll come back to the case that was described or discussed a little while ago, which was 2 American children, 4 and 7, were put on a plane with their mother, sent to Honduras within 24 hours of being detained. There was an attorney involved. And we're debating right now the issue, as if you stated, that the mother wanted the child to go with her, but there was an attorney involved. That person was not consulted. That family was denied the opportunity to talk to that attorney. The attorney was there. What is wrong with asking the attorney? You've got a family that had been checking in, following ICE direction. Check in, bring your family to check in. They weren't let out. That happens in my district all the time. Families check into ICE. If ICE determines they should be deported, you know what we do? I call ICE and I say, give them 30 days. Some of these families have been in this country 20, 30 years. Give them 30 days to get their situation in order. Make sure that they figure out how to keep their American children in the U.S. Give them the opportunity to make an educated decision on the lives of American citizens. In this case and other cases, ma'am, you have split-second decisions to make a decision on those children. And you, Madam Secretary, also make split-second decisions based on whatever coerced discussion you're having with that mother. And I say coerced because when you're scared to death, your life is about to change, and you've got an attorney next door that you will not permit that family to consult with that attorney, you got an issue. Case number 2, 2-year-old American daughter, also deported to Honduras. They were also denied access to their lawyers. According to her lawyer, ICE prevented the mother from speaking to the lawyer or anyone else in the family. 2-year-old American citizen. Can't we slow it down and just take a moment before they're deported in 24 hours? The mom didn't want the daughter to stay in the United States. They may have had relatives in the United States, family. Even the own Trump-appointed federal judge overseeing this case has said that he had a strong suspicion that the government just deported a U.S. citizen with no meaningful due process. Madam Secretary, I think we're all in agreement here. Let's go after MS-13. Let's go after drug dealers. Let's go after Tren de Grúa. The bad folks who hurt my community as well as everybody else's community. But I fail to see where a child, 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 7-year-old children could be on your top of priorities for deportations. This is still America. Due process, the Fifth Amendment. Madam Secretary, I know ICE agents. I deal with them all the time. I've toured the southern border, blue uniforms, green uniforms, talking to them about what they need to do the job. More than happy to have that discussion with you, publicly or privately, but deporting U.S.-born children, ignoring their attorneys? Take a deep breath. You've been here 20, 30 years. A lot of the times back home, when I ask the ICE agents, give them 30 days, you know what? Without fail, that person comes back or self-deports. We can do better. Madam Secretary, I'm going to ask you one last question in 9 seconds. You're under oath. Have you fired, retired, dismissed any DSA agents that have not followed your policies?
What kind of agents, sir?
DHS,
DHS
Homeland Security agents. Yes.
Specific law enforcement officers?
Yes, ma'am. Officers under your watch.
I haven't given any specific orders to any law enforcement officers under the Department of Homeland Security. So there are, within the Department of Homeland Security, 280,000 employees. 47,000 of them are Coast Guard individuals. So, 230,000 individuals are employees, and we're very proud of the work that they do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for recognizing that it's Police Week. We have many agencies that have law enforcement officers in them that get up every single day to serve their communities and to make sure that our laws matter and that they're enforced appropriately and that no one is treated differently than someone else.
Congressman Lou Correa came to the hearing prepared with facts, evidence, and a clear message. They laid out in plain and devastating terms what too many in power would rather ignore. Under Secretary Noem's leadership, U.S.-born children American citizens have been deported without due process. Not decades ago, not in some distant authoritarian regime, but right here in the United States, in the year 2025. And when confronted with this horrifying reality, Noem didn't show accountability. She didn't express concern. Instead, she dodged the facts, deflected the questions, and insisted almost unbelievably that her department's focus remains on protecting Americans. But what does that mean when the very people being harmed are Americans? How can you claim to defend the nation while deporting its own children? This isn't just an isolated policy failure or bureaucratic oversight. It is something far more serious. It's a test of whether our institutions still stand for justice, for the rule of law, for constitutional rights. Because when you start stripping children born on U.S. soil of legal protections, of access to attorneys, of basic recognition as citizens, you are not upholding law and order. You are undermining the very foundation of what makes America a democracy. Let's be clear. Due process is not a luxury. It's not optional. It is a constitutional guarantee. And when our government begins to treat some people, especially vulnerable, children as disposable, as stateless as others, we enter dangerous territory. We slide closer to a dystopia where rights are arbitrary, citizenship can be erased by executive whim, and if that doesn't disturb you, it should. We are at an inflection point. What's happening here is bigger than one department or one official. It speaks to the values we choose to uphold or abandon. If we allow this to go unchallenged, if we accept a future where American children can be secretly detained and sent away with no hearing, no lawyer, no justice, then we have lost something precious, the soul of our democracy. So if you believe that children deserve dignity, that citizens deserve rights, and that the Constitution still matters, we're asking you to act. Share this message. Subscribe to The Liberal Lens. Help us shine a spotlight where MAGA Republicans would prefer to cast shadows. And if you're able, support our work on Patreon because independent journalism is one of the last defenses we have. This moment calls for more than outrage. It demands action.